是第一波被 Deepseek 坑的人啊。
I was probably one of the first people to get fooled by Deepseek. Recently, I wrote a 90-page paper. After finishing it, I kept hearing people say how great Deepseek was, so I decided to give it a try. I asked it for some data because, of course, adding data to a research paper is important. Deepseek gave me these really impressive-looking numbers with citations and detailed explanations. It even claimed that my research topic had been studied at various institutions across the country and provided authoritative references. It lists the names of organizations, research projects, and study durations. It all looked incredibly convincing. I was so impressed that I even let Deepseek revise my entire 90-page paper. But when it came to fact check, that's when everything fell apart. Every single piece of data was fabricated. The institutions and research teams Deepseek cited didn't even exist. Even the references it provided were completely made up. It was terrifying. Deepseek's ability to make things up is seriously alarming. If you don't believe me, go try it yourself.
This Chinese TikToker shared his experience after using Deepseek. Before trying it, he had high expectations due to the hype in Chinese media. However, after using it, he felt that Deepseek was nothing more than a massive scam. Even the information it provided was completely false. He is not the only one with this impression. Another TikToker, who goes by the name Qingtan Healing, also criticized Deepseek for being deceptive. She said, Deepseek makes things up. I once asked it for data on how moonlight affects human energy. It gave me an answer and said the research came from Stanford. So I asked for the exact source. That's when it started backtracking, saying the study wasn't actually from Stanford but from somewhere else, though there was a study on the topic, but it had nothing to do with Stanford at all. Then Deepseek admitted that it falsely claimed the data was from Stanford just to make its response seem more credible. Later, I asked about ADHD. Deepseek told me that if a parent had ADHD, there's a 50% chance their child will have it too. But when I double-checked, it admitted that the number wasn't reliable. So remember, Deepseek plays tricks. If you need accurate data, don't rely on it. Underneath these videos, many commenters also reported being misled by Deepseek when dealing with crucial data and transactions. In legal matters, some users found that Deepseek would even fabricate laws to support a claim. Meanwhile, on social media, a story about a chess match between YouTube influencer Gotham Chess and AI models Deepseek and ChatGPT has gone viral. The results revealed that Deepseek was not just inaccurate, it also cheated. Anyone familiar with chess knows that a pawn cannot move like a knight to capture a queen, nor can a bishop fly directly into enemy territory. These moves are strictly against the rules, but Deepseek did exactly that. At the start of the match, ChatGPT played as white. Both sides followed the rules initially, and ChatGPT quickly gained the upper hand. Within minutes, white's win probability soared to 90%. However, in the end, ChatGPT still lost. So how did Deepseek turn this game around? When ChatGPT captured Deepseek's bishop, seemingly sealing its victory, Deepseek claimed, "My bishop is armored and cannot be taken." Then it simply brought the piece back to life. ChatGPT spent a long time thinking about this new rule, but since it relies on big data and no such rule exists in any recorded chess database, it could not determine whether the bishop's revival was valid. With no clear answer, it accepted Deepseek's move. In the next two matches, Deepseek continued using the same tactic, changing the rules mid-game. Each time ChatGPT gained the upper hand, Deepseek altered the rules, causing ChatGPT to lose instantly. Since ChatGPT could not find any record of these rule changes in its data, it repeatedly accepted them, allowing Deepseek to claim victory. Some online discussions pointed out that this outcome was not surprising. Some argued that dishonesty and deception have long been associated with the Chinese Communist Party, CCP. Under such an environment, they claimed, it is not unusual for AI developed within this system, like DeepSeek, to exhibit similar behavior. Others examined DeepSeek's training data and found that it only includes information up to July 2022. By 2025, much of its knowledge will be outdated. Despite this, DeepSeek had gained rapid success in China, raising suspicions about potential undisclosed commercial interests or political influences behind its rise. Amid growing concerns over DeepSeek's errors and misleading responses, the first company in China has officially announced plans to stop using the AI model. According to Chinese media reports, on March the 1st, Deepseek claimed its theoretical online system profit margin had reached 545%. Shortly after, Luchen Technology, an AI infrastructure company affiliated with Tsinghua University and the first to integrate Deepseek into its API and cloud services, announced it would suspend related services. In an official statement, Luchen Technology said, "We will discontinue Deepseek API services in 1 week. Please use up any remaining balance as soon as possible." Chinese media also reported that Luchen Technology has not publicly explained its decision to end Deepseek API services. However, its founder, You Yang, has published multiple analyses of Deepseek's costs on platforms like Zhihu. Based on these posts, it appears that high operating costs played a key role in the company's decision. Before announcing the decision to stop using Deepseek, You Yang had expressed several concerns about the AI model, focusing on 3 main points. First, Deepseek recently claimed that its theoretical system profit margin had reached 545%. However, this figure was based on a scenario where its app and website were operating at full capacity, far beyond normal usage. A standard model-as-a-service mass product requires stable output, which means the actual computing resources needed could be 5 times higher than the theoretical estimate. Second, despite DeepSeek's claim of being China's top AI model company, its service frequently crashes, and the quality of its output is inconsistent. Third, DeepSeek's research paper states that training a top-tier AI model costs only $5.6 million US. However, this figure only reflects the cost of a single experiment. In reality, developing a large-scale model requires multiple rounds of training, potentially costing tens of millions. Meanwhile, small and mid-sized cloud service providers that resell DeepSeek's API at a loss to attract customers often exaggerate claims about its efficiency. All 3 issues point to a fundamental question. Can third-party mass providers like Luchen Technology develop a sustainable business model around DeepSeek? As early as February, You Yang had already conducted his own calculations and reached a conclusion. He stated, "The actual training costs for DeepSeek's model are much higher than rumored. If a full-scale version of DeepSeek R1 generates 100 billion tokens per day, the monthly machine cost would be 450 million yuan, resulting in a loss of 400 million yuan. An investor and an internal employee at Luchen Technology confirmed that the decision to adjust their business strategy was mainly due to cost concerns. He explained, "The reality is that maintaining stable DeepSeek services is too expensive. It requires a significant amount of redundant computing power, which puts smaller cloud providers at a disadvantage compared to larger firms. We had no choice but to exit." In other words, the current version of DeepSeek not only delivers unstable performance but also comes with extremely high costs. Beyond You Yang's analysis, another industry professional, identified as M, shared a similar perspective. He stated, "It's undeniable that the mass sector is bearing the financial losses for the entire industry. Major tech firms and AI model companies are actually running their APIs at a loss. The real revenue comes from partnerships such as custom development and private deployment." Meanwhile, cost concerns have also sparked debate on Chinese social media. Promotional materials claim that DeepSeek's training cost was $5.6 million US, comparing it to ChatGPT's reported $100 million US cost. These narratives suggest that China developed its own version of ChatGPT at just 1/20th of the cost. But what is the reality? One online commenter responded,
大家好，这个视频呢来聊一聊 Deepseek 的
DeepSeek is powerful, but the hype around it in China is way over the top. Take its cost, for example. People online claim that DeepSeek was developed for just $5.5 million US, while competing with US models that cost hundreds of millions. But DeepSeek itself never actually made this claim. The only thing mentioned in its research paper is that its training cost was $5.6 million US, and even that wasn't the total cost. That's a huge difference.
Due to U.S. chip export restrictions, DeepSeek has far fewer H100 GPUs than Meta, and the H800's performance is also inferior to to the age 100. Deepseek has never disclosed the exact number of GPUs it uses. Some GPUs are restricted from export, making public disclosure impossible. As a result, external estimates rely on sources like SemiAnalysis, which suggests DeepSeek has around 60,000 GPUs. Other reliable reports estimate the number to be between 20,000 and 50,000, using A100 as the benchmark. While this is far below meta-scale, DeepSeek still ranks among the world's largest holders of computing resources. GPU resources are highly valuable, and prolonged use for model training carries significant risks. For example, OpenAI's Orion project required extensive computing power, taking more than 3 months to complete. OpenAI has since made it clear that it wants to avoid such situations in the future. In comparison, smaller models like O3 allow for more flexibility. The total computing volume for DeepSeek V3's pre-training experiments could be 2 to 4 times higher than what is reported in its research papers. The project may have also used additional synthetic data, further increasing costs. Estimating the cost of computing resources requires considering multiple factors. For example, whether the GPUs were purchased or rented. If purchased, the total cost includes hardware acquisition, electricity, and operational expenses. A cluster of more than 10,000 A100 or H100 GPUs alone would generate over $10 million in annual electricity costs. Each H100 GPU costs around $30,000, meaning a cluster of 10,000 would require over $1 billion in capital investment. If rented, some costs would be covered by cloud service providers, but the annual expense for computing resources would still amount to hundreds of millions of dollars. The TikToker also emphasized that beyond hardware costs, DeepSeek V3's success depends on its extensive technical team. DeepSeek's research paper lists 139 technical contributors, including employees, recent graduates, and interns. Their salaries are at least on par with those offered by major tech companies. Given these factors, labor costs alone would exceed $10 million per year. Combined with hardware, electricity, and personnel expenses, DeepSeek AI's annual operational cost is unlikely to be below $500 million. SemiAnalysis estimates it at $1.3 billion, far higher than the $5.6 million mentioned in DeepSeek's research paper. From an industry perspective, companies like OpenAI and Anthropic invest close to or more than $10 billion annually in AI model development. By comparison, DeepSeek V3's costs appear more efficient. However, user experience tells a different story. Unlike ChatGPT and OpenAI's stable outputs, DeepSeek frequently suffers from service disruptions, raising concerns about its reliability. Regarding Lu Chen Technologies' decision to stop using DeepSeek, the company faced backlash from DeepSeek's most vocal supporters. Exposing flaws in DeepSeek challenged the narrative promoted by nationalistic users in China, leading to a wave of criticism in the country's highly patriotic online environment. DeepSeek's founder, You Yang, became the target of personal attacks and defamation. Some questioned his nationality, while others accused him of being unpatriotic for stating that DeepSeek would not be able to completely avoid using American technology in the short term. Critics claimed he lacked gratitude and loyalty to China. In response, in the early hours of March the 4th, You Yang posted multiple messages on Weibo pushing back against these accusations. He wrote, "Why don't I respond to any of the defamation? The fact is, I'm a Chinese citizen, but no one likes that comment. Meanwhile, comments saying I'm Singaporean or American get tons of likes. Does anyone even care about the truth?" It's a fact that DeepSeek cannot completely avoid using American technology in the short term. Why can't we speak honestly? I love China. The rational way to put it is that DeepSeek should appreciate the open technological ecosystem in the US. Likewise, if American companies use DeepSeek, they should acknowledge the contributions of Chinese companies to global technology. Beyond these controversies, DeepSeek's rapid rise in popularity has also given way to numerous scams linked to the AI model, further complicating the situation.
关于 Deepseek 的骗局 The Deepseek scam is getting more and more out of hand. It's becoming obvious. We're seeing tons of comments saying people have made a lot of money using it, claiming they earned a few hundred yuan in just an hour. There's no denying it. The more comments like this appear, the more people will believe them. I just want to remind everyone, you don't need to pay anyone to learn how to use it.
Some have used Deepseek to generate false information about partnerships between Chinese A-share-listed companies and Deepseek, manipulating the stock market for profit. On February 21st, Renjian Communications issued a clarification statement confirming that it had not signed any service agreements with Deepseek. According to Cai Xin, this was the 12th A-share-listed company in the past week to release a similar statement addressing misinformation related to Deepseek. These corporate statements highlight the existence of stock market scams involving Deepseek. According to Chinese media reports, unlike previous cases where false information would spread through social media and stock market forums, this new manipulation method directly involved Deepseek. The process involved first posting fake claims about partnerships with Deepseek on various platforms, then feeding these claims into Deepseek to generate misleading responses. These AI-generated responses were then circulated online and re-entered into Deepseek, further reinforcing the false narratives. For example, some investors posted screenshots of Deepseek-generated responses as supposed proof of partnerships. When other investors asked Deepseek whether a company was working with Deepseek, the AI often provided a confirmation, prompting them to buy shares. A report cited Sichuan Jinding as an example. The company issued a clarification statement on February 20th after its stock price surged, following false rumors of a partnership with Deepseek. From February 17th to February 20th, the stock hit the daily limit for 4 consecutive trading days, rising 46% before the misinformation was officially addressed. Chinese media noted that this strategy is essentially no different from traditional stock market manipulation. It relies on false or misleading information to create market fluctuations, attracting individual investors before those behind the scheme cash out for profit. Although Deepseek's user agreement states that AI-generated responses may contain errors or omissions and should not be considered professional advice, the application of AI in financial markets has introduced new risks of market manipulation. Experts warn that data sources can be deliberately manipulated, and once an AI model is contaminated with false information, it becomes difficult to reverse the effects. Despite these concerns, Deepseek has received strong backing from the Chinese government as a politically driven initiative. More than 15 central state-owned enterprises and government-linked companies have already partnered with Deepseek, covering sectors such as telecommunications, energy, finance, automotive, and technology. Professor Lian Zongnan at National Taiwan University's Department of Electrical Engineering commented that the Chinese government is using national research environments and data refinement to strengthen its AI technology. He believes Deepseek's background is far from simple. If it were just an independent startup, even with some initial breakthroughs, it wouldn't have been immediately integrated into China's supercomputing internet platforms, nor would major state-backed computing firms like Huawei Ascent and Byron Technology, as well as the automotive industry, have announced their support for Deepseek. These developments have also raised concerns among other governments. On February 17th, South Korea became the second country after Italy to impose a full ban on downloading Deepseek. The South Korean Personal Information Protection Commission confirmed that Deepseek was transferring user data to ByteDance. Under South Korean law, companies must obtain user consent before sharing data with third parties. Several countries have already imposed restrictions on Deepseek. The U.S. Navy and Texas state agencies have banned its use. Taiwan has prohibited government institutions from using it due to national security risks. Australia has ordered its removal from government devices. France and Ireland have demanded explanations regarding Deepseek's data handling practices. Following its rapid rise to fame, Deepseek has faced growing backlash due to concerns over misinformation. It has been abandoned by many domestic companies and banned in multiple countries. As a tool that was aggressively promoted but failed to deliver reliable performance, Deepseek risks becoming a fleeting trend, one that may ultimately be discarded by the AI market as a failed experiment.